What if I told you that the thing you're probably holding right now is performing a tiny silent lobotomy on you every single day? Look, you felt it, that fuzzy oatmeal forebrains feeling after a quick 45-minute scroll through an endless feed, where you finally look up and can't remember what year it is. You might think it's just you being lazy, but here's the kicker, and it's a bit of a paradox. In an age where you have access to all of human knowledge, you're being actively encouraged to become dumber. This isn't an accident. That feeling, the one the internet brilliantly named Brainrot, is the desired outcome. It's a feature, not a bug, engineered by some of the smartest people in the world to keep you staring at a glowing rectangle. But the truly controversial part is that breaking free isn't about having more willpower. It's about understanding that you're in a fight you were designed to lose. But don't worry, this isn't just doom and gloom. By the end of this video, you will finally have the answer to why your attention span is shot and why you talk in memes now. We're going to unpack the science of brain, see how it's rewiring our culture, and lay out a realistic game plan to get your brain back. So, if you're ready to stop feeling like a zombie and start thinking clearly again, stick around. So, there's this word that's been thrown around lately, and it sounds like a disease you'd get from a 50s sci-fi movie. But let's be real, it's that feeling you get at 1 a.m., thumb deep into a scrolling session, where your brain feels like it's been replaced with lukewarm oatmeal. You know, you should stop, maybe read a book or, I don't know, remember what human interaction feels like? But the memes are just too powerful. It's the official term for when your pop culture knowledge outweighs your knowledge of how to properly file your taxes. Now, some might say this is just the new version of zoning out in front of the TV, like our parents did with reruns of Friends. But it's so much more sophisticated than that. Brainrot isn't just passive viewing, it's an active, algorithm-fueled deep dive into a rabbit hole of pure, unadulterated nonsense. It's the moment you realize you've spent 20 minutes watching someone silently point at text on the screen, and you've absorbed nothing of value. It's not wasting time, it's meticulously curating a void where your thoughts used to be. The creepiest part is how it seeps into your actual life, and your attention span is, well, shorter than a Vine video. You start talking in internet slang to your boss, you can't form a coherent sentence without referencing a TikTok sound. It's like your brain's processing power is being outsourced to the cloud, and the cloud is just full of cats falling off of things. But why does this mindless content have such a chokehold on us? It almost feels, engineered. Alright, so it turns out, our brains are basically just little dopamine junkies, and these apps are the dealers. Think about it. Every time you swipe and see a mildly amusing video, your brain gets a tiny little pat on the head, a little ping of dopamine. It's the same chemical that makes you feel good after eating a cookie or getting a text back. These platforms are nothing but a digital conveyor belt of these tiny rewards, demanding nothing from you except your soul and your precious, fleeting attention. It's a cheap, easy high, and man, is it effective. Now, if your brain is the addict, the algorithm is the meticulous dealer who knows your habits better than you do. It's not just showing you random stuff you might like, it's a calculated system. It saw, you watch that video of a guy power washing a rug 3 times. Aha, a connoisseur of clean carpets. It thinks, before lining up an endless stream of satisfying cleaning videos just for you. Your feed isn't a magical window into the world. It's a cage built from your own brain's weaknesses, designed to maximize your brain. The scary side effect of this constant, low-effort dopamine drip is that your brain's patience goes right out the window. Your attention span shrinks to that of a gnat. Trying to read a book suddenly feels like climbing Mount Everest. And watching an entire movie without multitasking feels like a downright impossible feat. We're rewiring ourselves to need constant, instant stimulation. But if we're all just locked into our own little customized reality streams, what on earth happens to a shared sense of culture? Remember when a huge TV show finale would air, and that's all anyone could talk about the next day? That was the cultural water cooler. Well, that water cooler is now bone dry. Thanks to the hyper-personalized nature of Brainrot, you'll try to bring up the most hilarious video you saw yesterday, and your friends will just give you a blank stare. We've traded huge, unifying cultural moments for millions of tiny, fragmented realities. Your inside jokes are now just inside your own head. And by Friday, if you use it, you're officially old and out of touch. And the life cycle of these microtrends is just exhausting. A new slang word is born on a Monday, becomes the biggest thing on the internet by Wednesday. This isn't culture. It's a content furnace that demands constant novelty, burning through ideas so fast that nothing has time to actually stick or mean anything. This constant churn is a core feature of Brainrot, leaving you with a permanent case of cultural whip. This whole mess accidentally fosters a bizarre main character syndrome. When your entire online experience is curated just for you, it's easy to feel like you're the star of your own little movie, with a unique soundtrack and plot that no one else is privy to. We're losing the common ground, the shared set of references we used to build connections with. And if our shared culture is breaking apart, what is this constant exposure to bizarre internet speak doing to the way we actually talk and think? Let's be brutally honest about how we talk now. The slang that was once safely contained to the dark corners of the internet has breached the firewall and is now part of our daily vocabulary. You hear actual adults in professional settings saying things like no cap, or describing a situation as giving chaos. It's as if our brains, in a desperate attempt to keep up, have created shortcuts, replacing nuanced vocabulary with the verbal equivalent of a reaction GIF. We're not just referencing memes, we're starting to think in them. The real kicker here is the loss of nuance. Brainrot speak is inherently lazy. Instead of articulating the complex, bittersweet feeling a certain song gives you, you just call it a vibe. Instead of explaining the specific historical and artistic influences of a design, you just label it an aesthetic. These words are like empty calories for conversation. They fill the space but offer zero nutritional value. They are conversation enders, designed for passive agreement, not active discussion. So, the million-dollar question is this permanent? Language shapes our reality and the very structure of our thoughts. If our everyday language is becoming a simplified, recycled stream of internet catchphrases, what does that do to our ability to think critically, debate, or even feel things deeply? It is super easy to just throw our hands up and blame the algorithms for feeding us this sludge. But are we really just helpless passengers? Or can we actually do something to fight it? So, how do you actually fight back against the great brain rot epidemic? The first step seems to be treating your content consumption like a food diet. You can't survive on a steady stream of digital junk food and expect your brain to function. The idea is to consciously introduce some mental vegetables into the mix. Yes, I'm talking about things that require more than 15 seconds of your attention, like a book, a long-form article, or even a podcast that actually makes you think. It's about trading the cheap dopamine hits for something a bit more substantial. Here's a concept that might sound terrifying. Embrace boredom. Seriously, we've used our phones to eliminate every single unoccupied moment of our lives, from waiting for the bus to the 30 seconds it takes to microwave leftovers. But boredom is the soil where original thoughts and creativity grow. Letting your mind just wander without any input is excruciating at first, like flexing a muscle you forgot you had. But it's arguably the most powerful weapon we have against the constant, noisy churn of brain. Look, nobody is suggesting you have to smash your phone and move to a yurt in the woods. This isn't a final boss battle you can win once and for all. It's about making small, deliberate choices every single day. It's about recognizing when you in the sludge and making the conscious decision to step out, even for a little while. Navigating our digital lives without letting our brains turn to mush is just a weirdly modern form of self-care, an ongoing negotiation we all have to make.